Hi, welcome back. I'm Ben, the Burnt Out Chef, and today we're going to be making the ultimate gooey brownies. So, let's get started. So, first, we need to break up our chocolate. So we're going to very gently throw it, and then it's all broken up. We'll put it into a bowl, just for now to keep it in. As long as they're mostly all broken up, it'll be fine. Now, in a larger bowl, we're going to add 350 grams of butter and 300 grams of broken up chocolate. We're going to put this mixture in a heat-proof bowl, glass or metal, over a pan of simmering water. It's called a bain-marie. This is going to gently melt it all, so it'll become almost like a ganache. Now it's all nice and smooth. I'm going to let that sit for about half an hour to cool. So, in a big bowl, I'm going to add 600 grams of sugar, 6 grams of salt, 4 eggs, and then, to make it even more rich and make it deliciously gooey, we're going to add 4 egg yolks. Now definitely keep the whites, because you can use that to make meringue, because it's actually a decent amount. Just take your time separating them, there's no rush. You can do this while your chocolate mix is cooling. You can either use your hands or the shells. So that's done, well done. And now, we're going to whisk this all together using an electric hand mixer. Doesn't have to be fancy, this one's 30-year-old. For about 5 minutes. About halfway through, we're going to add in 10 grams of vanilla extract. But you want this mixture to reach sort of a mousse, almost. This is where any of the air, even though there isn't much, is going to come from. So now we're going to pour in our chocolate mixture that's now cool. Scrape it all out, you don't want to lose any. I love the scraper. And using a steel spoon, stainless steel, we're going to fold it together. You go 1 circle around the bowl, and then 2 lines straight across, and repeat. This means you keep as much of the air as possible in it. There, you can see. Now once that's mostly combined, we are going to sift in 80 grams of cocoa powder. Make sure you get it all through and all the lumps out. Remember, we're only folding, so if you have any lumps, they'll probably stay. That's why you have to sift. And now 150 grams of plain flour. Again, sifting, because any lumps will stay. Now, knock that pile down and fold it together again. Again, all the way around and 2 lines across, and repeat. Now, once that's mostly combined, we're going to add in 300 grams of white chocolate chips, or chunks. I'm using chunks, and fold them in 2. This just makes it even nicer. Try and get bake-stable ones so they don't melt too much. Now give the bowl a scrape down and give it another quick fold together. If you're folding with the scraper, only do a couple of folds because it will knock some air out, but you can usually get away with a couple. Right, that's done. Well done. Now we're going to line our tin. This is a 22 by 32 centimeter tin. Grease it up. All surfaces except from the outside and the handles. So all the walls and the bottom. Got a good amount of grease on it. I'm using butter. That's all greasy. We're going to measure our baking paper. We're going to cut it so it's the width of the tray. You you don't want to include the sort of rounded bits in that measurement. Now, I'm going to put our first piece in, and the grease will hold it in place. Just make sure you don't get any lumps or big creases in. Little ones will be fine, but you don't want any big ones because you'll get a weird pocket in your brownie. Not lots of pockets in brownies. Now grease the bottom, but only the bottom, and now measure the length. So this piece is going to be a bit longer than the other. We do it this way so you can lift the brownie out at the end without it breaking. Now insert it this way and have it so it's running the whole length of it and stuck again with the grease. Grease is magic and it sticks it all down. Now, using editing magic, trim the edges. And look, the paper stays in. That's what the grease is for. Make sure any last creases are out. And now, I'm going to start scraping our mixture in. It's almost like fudge at this point in consistency. That's because it's cooled quite a lot, because they have granite counters. Just leave it near a window or something to cool, but don't let any bugs in it, it'll be awful. Right, but if you get all that scraped out, you know, you definitely can't lick the spatula after, you know. You're not allowed. You should save it for me. But, scrape it all out. Give it a good few taps down. You want the chocolate chunks to sink a bit. You don't want them on the top or you get rubbish crust. So now we'll let our brownie cool in the tray for at least 2 hours. Right, now it's nice and cool. I'm going to lift it out using the paper. That's why we did it that way. It comes out really easy. Well done. So now, we have to get the paper off the brownie. Now one of the pieces will be very easy, because it's got the other piece of paper under it. Just get all the edges removed carefully. Remember, loads of time, don't rush. Be very careful with the crust on the top of the brownie as well. It's very delicate. But luckily, brownies are quite solid, so it's a lot easier than, say, doing this to a sponge cake or a whisk sponge especially. Your hands will be quite greasy after this. So now, to this one, we're going to fold this end under and then lift with the other end and peel it back, so that way it removes it nicely and you don't damage the crust from the top. So now we'll let it cool again, and now it's time to decorate. I'm just using some melted white chocolate in a piping bag with a tiny hole in the end. I just melted it in the microwave actually. Just do it in 30-second blasts. If you don't have a microwave or you don't want to use one, you can do it in a bain-marie like we did earlier with the chocolate mixture. But white chocolate does melt faster because it is just cocoa butter and stabilizers and sugar. You can decorate however you want, you know, have some creativity. This is just the way I like it, because the white chocolate helps the crust stick together a bit as well. So now, we're going to take it off the cooling rack. That just lets all the chocolate drop through. Now we're going to measure our brownie and divide it equally. I'm doing it 3 segments lengthways. I mean, you could just leave it as 4, as 3 really long brownies if you really wanted, but you know, they're quite filling. Now my knife isn't long enough, so I have to do it in 2 cuts. It's better to just go straight down because they're quite gooey, it'll sort of tear and you don't want that. Also, I wouldn't recommend using a bread knife, use a really sharp carving knife. So now we're going to divide it into 4 lengthways. Or widthways, whichever one you say. And again, carefully cut, just pushing down. If you miss a bit at the end, do another cut, but just pushing down. That's our finished brownies. You can store these for about a week in an airtight container. You don't need to refrigerate them. It'll be fine. But now I get to taste it. The best part. Ooh. They're absolutely delicious. So gooey, so chewy in the right places, nice crisp edges. You know, just hitting the countertop, it's that good. Right, I'm gonna go finish off the rest of the tray and help you try out the recipe. Oh, actually no, I'm gonna go another bite quick first. So, thank you for watching. Hope you liked the video. I hope you liked it enough to subscribe, and I hope you come back for more.